Jamel President grew up less than a mile from the College of Charleston and graduated from Burke High School. He was as hard-nosed and spirited as any player I have ever coached. On the defensive end, he always guarded our opponent's best scorer. His jump shot was picture perfect, and he iced many games with his foul shots. In fact, in his senior year, he ranked 4th nationally from the foul stripe. He played in the backcourt with Anthony Johnson, and they made a magnificent duo. In an NCAA game against Stanford at the United Center in Chicago, Jamel was voted Chevrolet Player of the Game. After graduation from the college, Jamel has given so much back to the community. He presents to youngsters seminars in SAT taking and academics, and conducts clinics and camps teaching the ABCs of basketball. He is also president and CEO of the Day Foundation. Jamel, congratulations, and a big thanks for your contributions and the role model you have become for the youth of Charleston.
President Benson.
Dating we find out life.
So we walk over here, and if thinking of press, the two places you don't want to get the press, receive the ball, is below the block and above the free throw line. Because it's a long pass to make from the out of bounds, right? And it's an easy, you got 3 defenders on you. The 2 that's trapping you and the baseline, okay? So your opportunity of catching the ball on the break, on the press break, is below the free throw line, above the block. Then, once you get in this window, you can't catch the ball here. Because what? You can't see, okay? You can't catch it here, because then you're still going this way. You can't catch it here, you're still opening up to the defense. So it's got to be here, where you catch the ball here. Now, if the defense come here, it's this way. If they come here, it's this way. Okay, so first of all, who inbounds the ball? Why? Coach said. Okay. Okay, well, you inbound the ball then. Let me see right now. If we scored and we try to pressure, what would y'all do right now? Who's the 5 on the court right now? All right. Let's say, come here. Y'all come here right quick. All right. We just scored. Now we're gonna press you guys. What do you guys do right now? See, that's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, Lilly. First of all, when our ball goes to the basket and you know there's a press, first of all, what's the press call in any team? You got to know that. See what I'm saying? You got to know that. 45. Okay, that's pressing. At the first time out, everybody should be saying, "Hey, 45 is their press." Okay, so the ball goes in the basket, Lilly. Whoever's taking the ball out should be doing this. Because when the time starts, when you pick the ball up, right? So you let the ball roll, you take your time. We don't want to rush and fill into what they're trying to get us to do. So the more we take our time, the less their press is going to work. Make sense? So the ball's rolling. Now, the 2 tandem people, usually I got to hit the top of the floor, right here, first, initially. Boom. Behind each other. Okay? Now, usually you got a guard here. Come here. Please. Both of you. So how would you be guarding this? In the trap. Come here. This way. All right, good. Okay, so the communication comes from y'all 2. Usually a tap on the shoulder. That means you're going this way, I'm going that way. Okay? This is called easy, per se. You will come here. You will go there. Okay? So it's called easy. All right, you guys can step off. Okay? So when it breaks, you break to that wing, you break to that wing. Okay? Now what happens is we're in our window, correct? All right, so when the ball comes here, opposite flash to the middle. Ball comes, you look the opposite way, you should be running. That's the pass there. We're on a 2-and-1 every time. Hey, you should be on a break with her. Okay, just bring it back again. It's called easy. So let's say we down here. 5. Come down, come down, come down. All right, we score. All right. Boom, boom. Hey, as soon as that ball hits your hand, it shouldn't be a dribble unless you need it. If she's covered, then it's a dribble. If she's not covered, that's gotta go. Okay, come back again. You gotta call easy. You gotta call easy. Okay, let's do it again. Go opposite. Come down, come down, come down, come down. Yeah, opposite, opposite. Okay? Perfect. Alright, the ball moves faster by dribbling or passing. Passing. Okay, let's walk through it again. Set up easy. Walk through it again, set up easy. Alright, break. No, don't pass it, just hold it. Go back to Lilly. Okay? Let's say both of them are covered. Okay? And what will we do now? Alright, good job. Okay? Let's say the ball goes there. What do we do? Oh, but they're covered though. Okay? No, you gotta bring it up. Right? So that's why sometimes it helps, because when they start covering that, coach, then you gotta put your ball handlers back there. Okay, now switch it up now. So if they start covering that in the 9 or 2 tops, then y'all gotta say easy 4. 4, 5. Alright? Easy 4. No. 4 B, you take it out. Okay? So Lilly, you will go here. So who's the best ball handler of them two? So where do we want the ball to go? Where do we want the ball to go initially to get to Lilly? Where? No, not the court. The court might not be open. Where do we want the ball to go so Lilly can get it? Right here. Right? Because you got to go what? Opposite. You got to know that. You got opposite. You got to be opposite. All right, let's go. She's open, right? And this one she's open, guys. Break again, Coral, right? That's when she's open. A lot of times we're waiting to do this, and it's too late. Go again, Coral. That's too late. Okay? All right, let's do it again. Break. Boom. Boom. Hey, what's your stop? Nobody move. All right? Oh, stop. 4. You gotta lag back. This is your time to relax. Okay? You saw what just happened? You missed that free throw. I mean, you missed the layup. Everybody was where? Under the free throw line, under the 3-point line. Okay? All right, so you gotta lag back.
Resignation of Dr. Nancy McGinley to report cards to Vision 2016. Former Charleston County School Board member Elizabeth Motley opens up to me in an exclusive interview only on Quentin's Close-Ups. Elizabeth, you know a lot of South Carolinians haven't seen in a while.
That's true. We left the country.
That's right.
Yeah, for Christmas and New Year's. That was our Christmas vacation.
Wow.
That was nice.
And tell me how you doing right now.
I'm doing well.
Yeah. And since that time, you know, a lot of big news stories have happened, really with the Charleston County School District. As you know, Coach Walpole, he actually filed a lawsuit with the Charleston County School District because of defamation over the whole watermelon incident. I'm wondering, what's your take on that?
I think it was an unfortunate incident and it should have never gone as far. I think that the school administrator did the right thing by doing an investigation and saying, you know, this could be perceived as having racial overtones and to stop. And I think it should have stopped there.
Yeah. And now, you know, there's another lawsuit by the parents who are actually suing the Charleston County School District. As we sit here right now, What does that lawsuit tell you?
Actually, I was grateful that they did bring it forward, and I will tell you why. It's because I've had an issue with student interrogations without any parental notification for a long time, and it's been going on inside of Charleston County. So finally, you have a group of parents that say, I'm not going to tolerate this, and they have the means in which to do it.
Yeah. And of course, as we will all know, Dr. Nancy McGinley is no longer the superintendent of Charleston County Schools after she was basically, resigned. Now there's some talk of trying to bring her back. At least some NAACP officials and other outspoken officials want to have that happen. Dr. Nancy McGinley's attorney basically said, hey, if you want to make something happen, let's talk with her. As we sit here right now, what do you think of that?
The board did have a meeting, I think it was on December 18th, to talk about the superintendent's status and the contract and what they were going to do moving forward. And I believe they've decided that they're going to go forward with a national search.
Oh, okay, yeah. And switching gears, obviously Dr. Nancy McGinley was a superintendent of Charleston County Schools for many, many years. She had to leave on bad terms, unfortunately, but there was some good sights there. When you think about the report card that just came out recently, what goes through your mind?
That it's a false positive.
Okay. How so?
Well, because the superintendent closed many schools. She closed failing schools and also changed districting to move higher performing students into lower performing schools to raise the report card. So we still have students that are not achieving, and they're not being addressed, they're just being hidden.
And let's rewind time to October 30th. As I told you on Facebook, I was inside the Charleston County School Board meeting room when the whole situation went down, when the school board announced that Dr. McGinley would resign. And there was so much chaos and disruption going on right there. When you guys were ready to announce that particular decision, what was going through your mind?
Yay. No, but with what was being screamed at us, I was, I really was unappreciative. And of course, Reverend Collins was sitting to my right, and so they're all screaming at us that we're white redneck racists.
I read about that.
And we have, 3 African Americans sitting on the board. So I just asked Reverend Collins. I said, I didn't realize you were a white redneck racist.
Oh, okay. And talk to me about the whole water well ritual again, because obviously Dr. McGinley fired Walpole and then rehired him. I'm wondering, at what point did you lose confidence in Dr. McGinley?
It was long before that.
Okay.
I actually had issues before I got elected.
Oh, wow.
And so she had a board for a long time that she had a majority vote, and the votes had changed.
Yeah.
And those that were newly elected had finally opened up and realized that what was being told to us was not necessarily the true directions that we were giving as a board to the district were not being done.
Wow.
And so we were a little frustrated.
Wow. And let's talk about the watermelon ritual, because a lot of people saw it as a racial overtone. Tell me, what does that mean to you?
Honestly, I really don't think there's two sides of that coin, but personally I don't believe that they really understood that there was any racial overtones. I think we have grown into a society that we're not really looking at black and white anymore, that we're just, individuals.
Yes.
And, I look out for the best interest of everybody, and to me it's about character, it's not about color.
Dating we find out life.
Thank you so much for coming to my thesis presentation on comparing and contrasting the coaching behaviors and terminology used by an instructor to teach beginner, intermediate, and advanced boys basketball players. So I first became interested in this subject through reading literature, and I always knew I wanted to perform a thesis on basketball. So I talked with my coaches, And then I met up with Mr. President and we decided to work on a thesis of comparing and contrasting coaching behaviors. So by reading articles, I found out that beginners are normally coached by relating methods to existing ideas. So for example, youth will normally be taught by relating their already existing information to coaching methods used by the instructor. So for example, Coach President taught the youth to dribble by little I's and little V's. So they are able to picture this image in their head and use it to help them understand the concept. Another common example is by teaching youth to shoot by reaching into a cookie jar. And this allows them to know that their hand should be raised above their head with a downward motion, and they will be able to picture this image and perform the correct drill and perform the correct concept. After that, the intermediate are normally in middle school or high school, and they are coached with instructions. So for example, the instructions may consist of where to aim the ball when shooting or how to dribble the ball. And these instructions are also used to coach the advanced athletes, because their techniques are similar, because they have a basic knowledge of the fundamentals and they will increase on their skills. So advanced are coached with lectures, which may consist of information on the upcoming teams that they're playing against. And then demonstrations are when the coach performs an example of how to perform a drill. And so the governing question that I looked for in this thesis was, how do the coaching behaviors and terminology used by an instructor to teach beginner, intermediate, and advanced boys basketball differ between skill levels? So the methods I used to complete this process were observing Mr. President's practices. I observed and analyzed 3 beginner training sessions, 1 intermediate, and 5 advanced sessions. And these practices I categorized into 8 groups, and I adapted some of the groups from Gallimore and Tharp's article on Coach John Wooden, and also I made up some of these categories through watching his practice for the first time. So the first category, instructions, is used when the coach explains where to place the ball or how to perform a drill. So the coaches normally tell the instructions to the intermediate and advanced athletes, like previously stated. And the second category, Let's Go, is a category that I created from watching his practice for the first time. And this category was noted whenever the coach says the words "let's go" to encourage the athletes and tell them to keep their concentration on the task, and for reminding them to perform with the same intensity even if they may become tired.
Let's go, let's go. Let's go, you gotta make it, big boy. Way to work, way to work. Let's go, you gotta make it, big boy.
And thirdly, modeling positive is used whenever the coach demonstrates the correct way to perform a drill. So, for example, if the coach tells the athletes to dribble around some chairs, the coach will perform modeling positive to demonstrate the correct way to perform this action. And on the contrary, modeling negative is when the coach demonstrates the wrong way to perform a drill. So, for example, if the athlete is messing up in the drill, and the coach will perform modeling negative to show them how the defense will react if they continue to perform the wrong way, and then the coach will follow with modeling positive to show them how to correct their mistakes. And then encouragement was noted when the coach said positive and uplifting words to the athletes, such as "good shot" or "good try," to let them know that they are pleased with their actions, even if they may not be completing the goal. And then scolds were used when the coach reprimanded the players, while smiles were used when the coach showed positive emotion and to let the athletes know he was pleased with their goals and with their drills. And then grunts were used when the coach showed not necessarily anger, but maybe a disappointment when the athletes were not able to complete a goal. So for example, if the athletes were told to shoot 5 layups in a row, they may have only made 4 in a row, and that may cause the coach to become disappointed for not finishing the goal. And by this thesis, it will help other coaches become more knowledgeable in instructing their athletes, and it will help the athletes to perform at a higher level. Because when coaches are more knowledgeable in the sport, they will help the athletes perform on a higher level and increase their skill levels due to the more advanced drills they can perform and the expert knowledge of their coaches to help them correct their mistakes.
Come in, shot. That's not it. That's not gonna work. All right, everybody's in the stands. It's fourth quarter, right? We're up 3 points. You think the team is gonna let y'all go easy? Right. So you gotta be sounding it easy, and getting in our spots. Let's go. Good. Good pass it, good. Go again, easy. Oh, stop. Hey, 4 and 5s, I don't know your name, let's call them positions. Y'all are crucial. You know what I mean? When that play started right there, you know where you were? Right here. So that give you enough time to get, you should normally get the pass right here. So someone's defending you, it ain't gonna work. So when you step over with the hole, you gotta, who's ever here gotta bust their butt at least to touch what? 3-point line and come back. You know what I mean? Because then, if you go here, where's defense gonna be? Behind you. So when the traps come, you come right to the ball. Now that guard is thinking, if he's rushing, then what? Stop. Go. But all that works because you went down and came back up. All right? Positions here. All right, you guys gotta be aggressive getting that ball. Coach, Raj, can you please? Step off. And Raj is guarding me, okay? I gotta do something called swimming, okay? If he's here, I'm swimming, okay? I can't go and just bust because he's not gonna let that happen, okay? I gotta swim and get open, all right? Be aggressive. So what happens? Do y'all get flustered when it's here, trying to make something happen? no ball, off ball movement. Okay, everybody's just standing. Okay, so you know when this press, Coach Press, this press, this thing works like the back of your hand. There's no way we're in a 1-4. Go over there right quick. There's no way you can come up. There's no way you can guard this. And now what happens is that your man starts cheating. You got this wide open go. This is the pass. Most of the times, right there. Which would be a good pass, right? But that's wide open right there. Okay, most of the time. How about the press break? Work on that. I can show you one. Same thing. What I do, if I give you the disease, I'm gonna give you the antidote too. Okay? So something called a 14. Alright? So you'd be on the ball, Lily. Same tandem here. Same setup. Okay? This is when they offense. This could be a trap called 14. Step there. I'm sorry. In the corner. Let me get the starters right quick. It's called 14. So step on the floor, please. One over here. What happens in the easy that causes us to break the press? The most important thing that happened, ball came in the middle. Once the ball get in the middle, your trap is done. Okay? So that means at 14, what do? Start the ball from going in the middle. So your trap here, we got a trap there, you guys two on the trap. Where do you go? Where's the open spot? Where do we don't want the ball to go? So where do you go? Easy, take that away. The ball has to go there. Right? Ball goes there. Now what? You in the trap. Lily? Ooh, come on, Lily. We're still in it. We're still in it. That shows right there. Okay? But in the trap, we don't want to. We want that. Okay? And if you get it too early, what's your name? She get the ball, step off a second. We don't want to make a beeline to her and have her come right through us, right by us, okay? So if she's dribbling, watch out for a second. I'm waiting like, come on, Lily. Not letting her get in here. Come on, Lily, until I get her. All right? Let's work on that right quick. Cutting that baseline off, because that's important in the trap. So let me get 3 lines. One line here, one line there, and one line there. So I'll get, who's the ball? All right, you two. You and Lily on the trap. Okay, you inbound the ball. Okay, so let's do this. You come here, Coral. Let's work on that out of the trap. Lily and you over there in the trap. Somebody just make believe somebody's over there. Make believe somebody's over there. You, come here. All right, Coral, you can catch the ball. Okay, Coral, you catch the ball. You gotta go. You gotta cut the angle off. Do you see that? Who can see the imaginary V on that floor right there? What's the imaginary V on that floor between Coral and her? All right, that's what we gotta stop her at. First of all, put your feet together. Put your feet together like that. All right, you're a strong girl, right? Now go ahead. What happened? Much more stable. Okay, so get your eyes. Get your feet rim length, rim width. Okay, and then when you're shooting, stand on the side. When you're shooting, you always can have you want them to get this too, right quick. You gotta have the same rhythm. If it's 1, 2, 3, or it's 1, 2, 3, or it's 1, 2. You gotta be the same rhythm all the time. Okay. Then when you're here, you gotta be in a 90 degrees angle. So once you finish the rhythm, you exhale, then you go into your regular routine. It's gotta be the same routine, because if it's not the same routine, the energy level changed from the first quarter to the fourth quarter when it's tied score with 4 seconds left. You know what I mean? So every time you get the ball, you walk to it, exhale, go into whatever routine, and then just come up with your shot. Okay? But nothing wrong with your shot. It's just everything's got to be the same thing all the time. What happens is that you're this, and you're here, your energy level fluctuates, right? That's why it's you just okay, and you're still upright. So now in your mind, you're this high up. You know when you're tired. So when you're tired, you know I gotta gauge more because mentally I'm tired. But when you're here the whole time, nothing ever changes. No matter if you're tired or not, it's the same thing. All right? Get lower. Good, right there. Don't bounce. Don't fluctuate. Good. But see, you saw that. You did this. That's what you don't want to do. That changes the energy level. That when you went down, that's where you need to be already. Okay? Now you don't want to bend. You didn't want to bend that time. You know what I mean?
Dating family life.
Future research should be completed on this topic because I was not able to compare and contrast girls and boys basketball. So when girls' practices are observed and analyzed, they can be compared with the boys' practices to see how the coaching methods and terminology compare for each gender. And then also, future research should be done to observe more training sessions because I was only able to observe the sessions over the summer, which may not represent the whole year round. And then also I experienced some limitations because I was only able to observe male practices. Again, it would be helpful if future research could compare these male and female practices and see how they were similar and different. And then I was only able to observe one intermediate practice which I was not able to view patterns and trends because, like the advanced and beginners, I was not able to base my data off of multiple practices. I was only able to view one practice.
One of the things that I was thinking about, and if you want to do this kind of research in the future, this is what some people would refer to as qualitative research, is to videotape.
Yes.
Videotape the practices, and and I don't know how to do them, but there are people who are expert at doing this kind of research who then can play the videotapes, and they also do it with audio tapes, and can pick out themes. You know, it's a little bit different than what you did, where you went into it, think, all right, these are the categories of things I'm looking for, and that was a good way to do it. You observed some practices and saw the different types of behaviors, but they'll just videotape, and then from those videotapes pull out themes, and you end up getting at the same kind of outcomes that with the beginners you tend to see these kind of coaching behaviors, and it changes over time. But videotaping and qualitative analysis of the dialogue is a really very sophisticated research technique that some people use. And you mentioned, and my other question, the other thing I wanted to point out or ask, you mentioned one limitation of that you only looked at male practices, which I'm very disappointed in.
I know, I was hoping to do
but what other, and this is open-ended, I apologize, and I don't mean it to be tricky, but what other investigation, besides looking at coaching of the advanced, intermediate, and beginning players, what would be another interesting study design for future research?
Well, when I was attending coach president sessions, there was a beginner who was at the high school level, and his coaching methods may have differed between the high school and the youth. So it would be interesting to see if athletes started out maybe they started playing basketball during high school or middle school, if those beginners would be different or be taught differently than if the beginners started out in elementary school. So that's what I would like to see, if like he used different coaching methods for beginners or
That's
who
a
are
good,
like
that's a good thought.
Yeah.
What I would, it's not fair to ask questions about what am I thinking, but all of the practices that you observed were being led by what I would consider an advanced coach.
Yes.
And there are intermediate coaches,
Oh yes.
and there are people that I know, such as myself, who are beginner coaches. So it'd be, I think another interesting study would be to look at differences in coaching behaviors between people who are beginner. You couldn't do it with this design, you just had one instructor. But you'd probably find very interesting differences between the beginner coach, the intermediate coach. You know, you could do a study where you looked at the coaches of, you know, church league or rec league elementary school kids versus junior high school kids versus high school coaches or college coaches. Because I bet you'd find differences there also in how they handle things.
I actually read some articles about that, and it said that advanced coaches normally are more active during practices, and they normally talk to their players more than the beginner coaches, who normally stay silent during practices or who don't really ask many questions to test the player's knowledge. So it was pretty interesting, but I would like to do what you said.
I learned a lot about myself and my approach, even with the let's go, because like you said, when the 3 different approaches, I would do it. So let's say if kids are hanging around not getting going, I say, you know, let's go, get them going. If they're shooting a series of shots and they're not making them, I got to refresh that focus, let's go. Or if they are making good shots and they're really, really going, I want to keep that sustained, so I'm saying let's go. So, you know, just recognizing that. And as far as the girls of, you know, different type gender that you didn't recognize, I want to just put an input on that in the question, but this is my theory on it. And I think, obviously between males and females, us males are more competitive in that team environment. I think females look at it as more of an individual thing because they want their teammates to do well. They don't, you know, we want to outscore our workout teammates. So I think because of me being an advanced coach, I kind of scare a lot of females away because it's intense out there, and it deals with the different levels from intermediate, middle, and what's the 3 levels again?
Beginner, intermediate, and advanced.
Okay, yeah. So then when you're talking about dealing with females, you're dealing with a whole different approach when you're talking about doing different levels.
Yeah.
So, you know, one week she might come like really, really intense, and the next week she got some personal issues going on. She's not really want to work. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that I can really touch base on that you didn't experience that's cause and effect of why they're not as prevalent as, you know, males in training.
It'll be interesting to see how your techniques differ with those 2 different personalities.
And to be honest with you, I'm mostly dealing with, you know, if they're starting really young, I've developed a rapport with that parent, with that mom, to let me know if this time a month, this is what's going on. So if I'm trying to push a kid to get going and they're bucking back at me, and I don't know if they're going through the personal issues that I'm trying to get them to go in, it's a conflict of interest. I have to know what's going on, so I'm less lenient, less approach to what I'm getting going on. And then the kid, if she's fighting against me and I'm fighting against her, we can't build a relationship. So I got to be real soft in my approach until I've gotten that attention. But you know.
Okay, so tell me, Lilly, about what got you interested in finding out about the coaching techniques for this particular part of the thesis. You said you knew you wanted to do something in basketball, but what led to this?
Well, a coach might be one of my future job interests, and so I'm interested in like how coaches run their practices and what techniques are best for each age group. So I wanted to explore more of that topics, especially because I might want to become a coach in the future, and then my dad has always coached me, so I just wanted to see like what might go through his mind in practices or how he approaches coaching me or teammates or the teams he coaches. And so I thought it was just really interesting, especially because I might want to pursue that career in the future, so I just might want to see what goes through a coach's mind.
Have you, based on your study, developed a kind of an idea of what you want to, you know, what style of coach you want to be? If you pursue it, like what mix you want to give?
Well, I think I would like to become a coach who gives lots of encouragement to the athletes, because I personally like to be around little kids and encourage them a lot and help them build up their fundamentals to become good basketball players. So I think I would just like to be a coach who helps youth develop their skills and who gives lots of encouragement and instructions to help bring them out into good basketball players.